The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day after the market close. Tom takes your phone calls from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time using the data available at that time.
Let's go to Fred in St. Pete. Hey, Fred, what's going on?
Hey, my man Tom, how you doing?
I'm doing great. You having a good day out there?
No complaints of being positive. Just started listening to your show recently, and you've been more spot on than everybody else on the TV. And you just came across real positive.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, after I listened to you, I got hooked on. I had to track you down and find you on the internet and everything else.
Well, you know, I got to give you this disclaimer, because this is what it is. Fred, this is like Hotel California. Once you check in, you can't check out, you know.
I see that. It's like a drug.
And now, here's Tom.
Welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week. We go 2 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone had a great weekend, safe weekend. Let's make it a great week, and let's make it a great fall, folks. That's the bottom line. We're kicking right into it. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements. Surrender and let go of the past. Whatever life takes away from you, let it go. When you surrender and let go of the past, you allow yourself to be fully in the moment. Letting go of the past means that you can enjoy the dream that is happening right here, right now. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. We had the Dow down 100, NASDAQ off 6, S&P's down, let's see, $5. Gold contract up 570, trading at 1,882. Silver, that's interesting, down $1.20 at $41.81. That just got croaked at the end of the day. Platinum down $32, trading out at 1,856 an ounce. Copper off 6 pennies at $4.06 a pound. Light sweet crude flat at $86.58. You had bonds up 18 ticks, trading at 140.30. Dollar index, big move in the dollar index out here today, up 79 ticks, trading out at 76.02. Euro off 101 at 139, broke under that 139. It's on its way to 130.35. Yen up 79, trading out at 77.68. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Well, I know what's going on in your world. In the world of the S&Ps, let's take a look at them. What do you have? Okay. The bottom of the consolidation here is 1101, folks. The top of it is the 1230, which went into last week. So when you come into bottoms, you know, first of all, you know, the first leg down in the market from July 21st, you know, we went from 1347 S&P down to 1101. Bottom line, huge amounts of volume, huge amounts of energy. We do counter-trend bounce. We've done 2 counter-trend bounces thus far. Now, the good news for the bulls is that you have 3 higher lows, 2 higher highs. The good news for the bears is that those higher highs don't have any juice into them. Putting it all together, let's put it together. So, when we first came down, when we're dealing with, and today what it was doing is this, it was going into the August 9th level, August 18th level, and August 26th level. And markets are all about energy. And what do we have? No volume. You come down with 1 billion shares. That 1 billion, folks, was going against the 9th, which had 2.4 billion, was going against the 18th, which is 1.6, and was going against the 26th, which is 1.1. So what you have here, you get a rejection of price, low volume. What does that say? That says S&Ps are going to go all the way back topside, going to go after the 1230 level again. Dow Industrials. We go over to the Dow. We take a look at the Dow. What you have with the Dow is this. Dow does the same type of setup. Dow gets down to 10,932 today. Going into the same levels. Bottom line, Dow rejected lower price, had lighter volume. Now it's going to try to run into 11,716 or 11,139. The composite, NASDAQ composite. What does the composite do? Same setup. Now, composite, we got down to 2414 today. Composite was also going into the same dates, meaning August 9th, the 18th, and the 26th. The composite came down to 1.6 billion. That 1.6, folks, was going into 3.8 billion, 2.8 billion, and 1.8 billion. Not enough energy at this point. Bottom line, composite wants to also run back topside at the 26.11 mark. Now, when you come down like this into these levels, what we've done is this. It hasn't proved itself topside yet. It hasn't proved that it wants to bust out these lows yet. What it has done, however, is this. It's given plenty of information that the highs are going to be tough to take out. The lows, because they haven't been touched yet, haven't been tested. That's how this works out. That's what's, you know, so the bottom line is that we're still going to get down to those 1101 lows. Bottom line, you know, I suspect it's going to take a while longer. Now, let's go over to the U.S. dollar. What you had at 0400 this morning, folks, was this. You had the Swiss National Bank intervene in the markets. Now, the amazing part about them, the intervention, is that they decided flat out that the euro wasn't going to trade over 1.20 francs. Now, the Swiss came into their market last June, and in all about 3 weeks they lost 21 billion bucks, and then they gave up on it. This looks to me that it's a lot different. The reason being is that the statement was different, the acceleration and the currency was different, and the last time that they did this with a vengeance was in 1978. The reason I'm bringing it up is that it looks to me like they're going to do this with a vengeance. And what they did in 78 was this. In 78, the Deutschmark and the franc were the strongest currencies out there. And what ended up happening is that they had to go against the Deutschmark. They not only went against the Deutschmark, and in that point, folks, there was all different currencies. And it was actually a lot tougher to do it than today. Bottom line is they controlled it. They controlled it for 20 years until the Deutschmark became into the euro. Now, what does that mean for the markets? Well, first off, what it means is this. It means that the dollar is the currency that is going to benefit the most out of this. And the reason being is this. What ends up happening is that, first off, you heard just over and over again people going into the Deutschmark because it's safe. That word should be banned, folks, in the investment business. There's no doubt about that. That's such a weird word in the investment business. But anyway, you hear it all the time. The folks that were in the Swiss franc, at a minimum, they lost 7% overnight. Many of them lost 10% overnight. And that's a devaluation. No matter which way you look at it, what just happened there is that the strongest currency just got devalued. That's it. Which is just counterintuitive to what you normally think. Because what normally happens, folks, is that you have weaker currencies that will get devalued because of the debt structures. Okay? That's the first part. Second part. What it does is that the dollar, for all the propaganda, well, it's not propaganda, but for all the misinformation, it's definitely misinformation. And what I mean by misinformation is that the amount of folks that keep claiming the dollar has been at its lows. The dollar, folks, made its low in 2008. We're at 76.01 right now. Dollar had a huge day, blew apart all the swing points, blew them apart with volume. The dollar is going to run to 80 to 85. That is absolutely going to put some conniptions inside the larger industrial companies. The reason being, of course, is that when you're an exporter and you're making your money overseas and you're making your money on the cheap dollar, it's a problem. Okay, now let's go over to the gold market. What is it going to do to gold? Bottom line, folks, what you have is this. Gold is priced in U.S. dollars. Commodities are priced in U.S. dollars. The higher that the dollar goes, gold will take a hit. What we had out here today is this. Gold at 0400 turned around and hit 1923. Gave it up from 1923. Closed out first session at 1882. We're at 1882.60 right now. Now, the way gold is set up right now, this high can get tested again. It's a good high, which is great, because the reality is that in August we had good highs out there, meaning with volume. This is a good high with volume, which what we didn't want is a test with lighter volume. That's on the gold contract. Now, the GLD and many of the gold equities have some heavy problems, and this is what it is. The GLD, that little baby got over the highs of the 184, 82, couldn't handle it, has lighter volume. Many of the actual equities got into the July, got into the April highs, and couldn't handle those swing points. So that's saying those babies are going to come back. Now, what you have inside the gold market also is big divergence, and it's divergence in a big way. And we're going to see more of it. And what I'm specifically saying is this. You know, we happen to own a couple of these. Vista Gold goes topside in a big way. What does it do? Vista Gold goes up 10%. What that was all about, of course, they're a sponsor, but we've made so much money between Vista Gold, A&V. When he spun off A&V, it's just amazing, actually. The bottom line is that Mike Richardson is an operator beyond belief. And their BAT deposit at Mount Todd came in huge. There's so many legs to this equity, it's insane. But bottom line, it takes off and takes off with conviction. Now, the reason I'm bringing it up is that there's divergence inside the market. That took off with conviction. Nova Gold looks like it's in play. And the reason I'm saying that is that the swing points in Nova was taking over the August swing points, the July swing points. The rest of them couldn't handle it. And it's like, okay, volume blasted out of it, 6.7 million, taking them out, big action. Exeter. Now, we own Nova. We don't own Exeter right now. We've owned it, and we've sold it at a lot higher prices. But Exeter also, what happened with Exeter Resource today? Big price spread, huge, up 15%. What you have with Exeter, they filed their papers for Caspici with the SEC. Now, what was really interesting about this one here, it's not like even a press release come out. What ended up happening is that this was actual filing with the SEC. Well, inside that filing, folks, what you had is that Caspici, bottom line, has huge amount of resources. So exit ends up going from 453 to 524. Now, the key inside of all of this is that you have divergence, number one, in the market, and you really got to understand where you want to be, because all these gold equities are not the same. It's not even close. What we are going to see happen, I suspect, once again, is that the Rand dollar versus the U.S. dollar is something you want to wrap your head around. Rand dollar right now is at 7.16. That also got weak today. As our U.S. dollar gets strong, that gets weak. As that happens, what you get is that you start getting nice accelerations in the South African equities. Now, an equity we don't own that you do want to watch is this. Anglo-Ashanti has been basically dead meat for quite a while. Anglo-Ashanti is starting to get some juice. You know, it started pushing a couple weeks ago and has some juice underneath it. Now, one of the main problems, fundamental problems, with Anglo-Ashanti is that John Paulson happens to own a big piece of it. And that isn't the first part of it, though. The second part is that he starts selling it off in June, right before June. You stay right there, folks, because I'm going to talk about Kenros. I think Mr. Tom O'Brien, this is TFNN. We're going to come right back, folks.